Hi, my name is Harry, and this is Harry's Report. This is my first YouTube on vid. This is my first YouTube video. Sorry, blubber. My first video on YouTube, and hopefully, I hope that you're gonna like this and subscribe and share if you think you learned something new, which will be really awesome for me if I know that I help somebody learning something. Anyway. So this COVID again, man, COVID-19. The reason I picked this article to be my first topic to talk about on my first YouTube video is because I live in Sweden. So to me, this is like you know, a home touch. I remember when the COVID first started, countries they were shutting down. The COVID-19 was spreading all over the globe. It was killing people, thousands of people every day, which is still doing, and the restriction, the society is being shut down in several places in the world, or in many countries, US being one of the countries that had, the entire thing shut down. But still, there was no way to put break on this disease, because it doesn't matter if it felt like it didn't matter if you have the entire country shut down, because once you open it will spread. The only solution to this problem is actually, you need the cure. So, but so far there is no cure. So now Sweden was the only country that resisted that literally didn't do almost anything to like shutting down. Or we did have restrictions like you know like nightclubs. It couldn't be more than what was it, 50 people or 100, something like that. um, then wherever you go, you have hand sanitizers, you have messages on recordings, talking. Like today I was at the Bauhaus. It's a German store we have in Sweden, so I was there to buy some stuff, and every like every 2 minutes there was this recorded messaging that was going through the large uh, you know speakers, and the message was saying, actually it was Peter Stormare, the guy from Bad Boy movie, the Russian guy who was walking through the gates and was trying to to kill, the guy who took his club from him, that scene. It was actually that guy, Peter Stormare, the Russian mobster. He was also in Prison Break. So anyway, he was talking in the speaker, and he was saying, like, we have to think about the situation we are in, which he was referring to the COVID-19, and that we have to uh, make sure that we are, have distance between us, like a 1.5 meters, which is like a couple of feet anyway. So every people will, like, I mean, of course not everyone will follow that, but most people, we were keeping distances. Like if I wanted to go to talk to somebody, that I needed help from a store or from someone, like we always kept our distance. So that's something we, you know when it comes to the Swedish people are very uh, helpful. They do follow the rules, they do follow the law in general. When especially something like is going to affect them or somebody else's life, they do, tend to do something about it. And so in that case it's really good. But when you think, sorry, I couldn't resist. I have a tea in front of me, I have to drink it. Anyway, I wanted to make this whole thing like a family vibe channel, like somewhere you can relax and talk, and without, feeling like, you know, it's not a big network. I'm not getting funded for this. I'm just doing this because, Anyway, so now UK is thinking about implanting what Sweden did, which the thing about the herd immunity. You know, the more the virus spreads, the less the people would together build up their immune system. That they're gonna fight this virus off, and the only way to beat it is if we have like a herd immunity, like Sweden did it. We don't have the immunity because obviously the cases are going up a little bit. I mean, we're more than a little bit here in Sweden, and we had a very tough summer with over 5,800 people dead. So, but still, when you think about it, we didn't really had closed down things, except a couple of restaurants. I think that they were forced to close down. Um, but in general, like 98%. I mean, school were also closed down for some period. Yes, I'm sorry, they were also closed down. Maybe some couple of other places, but it wasn't like most countries. I wasn't not allowed to go outside. I could go out. In the deadliest months of the COVID in the beginning, it was during the March and April. I could go out whenever I wanted. There was nobody say, "Oh no, you can't." Like there was no restriction regarding that. So for that matter, it was okay. So, but Sweden was criticized a lot for not thinking about their people and things like that. But you know, a lot of people died, yes, but later it did. Sweden came out as being one of the few countries in the world who didn't really had a shutdown, if not the only country in the world. And now the UK government, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, uh, that he wanted to shape the country's COVID response, just like Sweden's did. Um, but that could be dangerous in any way because it's going um, because UK has been hit like uh, one of the being one of the few countries in the world in Europe who have been hit like really really hard. Actually, we can take a look at it here in worldometers.info, which basically you can see here coronavirus cases, and unfortunately we have death cases here too. 1,004,658 people have died, which is crazy. 33 million, almost 33.5 million cases with almost 25 million recovered. Um, so this is the cases. Let's see, UK. This site, I don't think they are 100% accurate, but this is as close as you can get when it comes to. So in UK you have 42,000 deaths. That's really a lot. And then in Sweden you have 5,880. It's a lot. We have no recorded cases. I don't think this is accurate. But anyway, this is really crazy. Oh my god. So UK is actually hit the hardest in Europe. 42,000. America being almost 210,000. Wow, that's crazy. I'm sorry. This one wasn't, something of, it's crazy when you think about it. 200, almost 210,000. This is maddening. This is crazy. Um, so now we just saw that the UK is actually the country that has been hit hardest in Europe, according to So thinking about it, will this change anything for UK if they go after the herd immunity like Sweden? That's, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't gamble on it, but now to think about it, for a country like Sweden, almost 10 million people, uh, 5,800, it's kind of a lot if you think about it. And most of these people who have died, they're actually, in the home care system, people, mostly elderly people and people with underlying diseases, but still, there is no uh, excuse for all of this death. So this herd immunity, again, it's up there in discussion. Um, it's an interesting topic to talk about, I guess, but at the same time, if you go after this herd immunity, you have to think about that this, if we don't have a cure for the coming months, let's say, if we try with this herd immunity again and again, if we keep still trying it, and the numbers goes up, because right now, for some period the numbers were really low here in Sweden, but now they are worrying, they are going up. What happens if it goes really, really up, and people are starting dying from everywhere? This, this crazy COVID thingy has to, in somehow, there has to be something to, like, there has to be a cure out there. Like, it cannot go like this. Like, this is really, it's really destroying people's lives. So if it goes really up, then you have to come up with some restriction. You have to come up with some, there are places like the mall today, like, it was really packed. Like, in many cases, I could see that some people weren't really abiding the law, which was really unfortunate to see. But those sensitive areas around elderly people, around hospitals, there has to be like some form of restrictions. Let's say that, people, if they don't have any business, they shouldn't be there. In that way, that you could protect people from getting the virus, especially elderly people, especially people in home care, especially people with other diseases, because unfortunately, many of those who have died, they had underlying diseases. They had the diseases that their body wasn't really strong enough to fight off the COVID, because the COVID is really something new for the body. And if you have other stuff going on in your body, then you're basically fighting a lost war. And that's the thing. Like, there has to be, I don't know. I really hope they come up with a cure. That's the only thing that I'm hoping. If not, then we have to rethink about the strategy, and maybe, add some restriction to places where, like we had with the elderly, that not everyone was allowed to walk into the retirement home and so on. Maybe add some of those to apply it to other places where you can think that this virus will spread more, or the virus will thrive more in the crowded areas, or where there are vulnerable people. And anyway, I hope for the best. I hope that we get out of this, and I hope that we all can go back to our lives. And because what is happening right now, it sucks. It really sucks. Thank you for watching this. Thank you.